So if you're one of the millions who've jumped into some random workout plan you saw online, maybe lasted a few weeks, you definitely know the feeling. We see these trends, these celebrity routines, and we end up training hard, sure, but not really training smart. And that feeling of being overwhelmed or just not seeing results for all that effort, that's honestly the number one reason people just stop.
Yeah, it's a super common story.
So our mission today, digging into the material you shared, is sort of cut through all that noise. We're pulling together insights from your sources to build a really solid, personalized roadmap. Forget the fads. We're looking at the structural engineering of a routine that actually works for you by linking what you want your ambition directly to the type of training that gets you there.
I mean, that's the key insight, really. Fitness just isn't one size fits all. It can't be. Where things often go wrong is this critical mismatch, a lack of alignment between the how the training style someone picks and the why, their actual goal. Getting that connection right, that's the whole foundation for long-term success based on everything we've looked at.
Okay, let's unpack that. This core idea of alignment. Before anyone even thinks about picking up a weight or, hitting the pavement, what's the absolute first step?
You have to define your destination and, just as importantly, your starting point. So you got to assess your goals. Is it fat loss, building muscle, better endurance, or maybe just managing stress? And then be realistic about your lifestyle.
Yeah.
How much time, what resources, what energy can you genuinely commit each week?
Right. And why is getting that assessment right so crucial? What happens if you, skip that step?
Well, misalignment basically guarantees frustration and wasted time. It's almost inevitable. Think about it if your main goal is putting on muscle, but you spend all your gym time doing, say, long, slow cardio.
Right.
You're just not giving your muscles the right signal, the stimulus they need to actually grow. You're working hard, sure.
But not effectively.
Exactly. Not effectively for your goal. And that leads straight to hitting a wall, getting discouraged, and then, quitting.
Okay, so structure is key for consistency then. What are the sort of baseline recommendations for frequency, duration, just to get that initial routine going?
The big thing to remember here is consistency beats intensity every time, especially at the start. So for a beginner, we'd say start small, make it sustainable, maybe 3 to 4 sessions a week.
Got it.
Keep them manageable, like 20 to 45 minutes each. That builds the habit without overwhelming you, and it allows for enough recovery.
And for someone who's maybe been at it a while, intermediate level.
Yeah, if you're intermediate, you could probably bump that up to 4 or 5 sessions a week. And maybe extend the duration a bit, say 45 to 60 minutes. That gives you enough volume to start thinking about periodization.
Periodization, meaning?
Meaning you can have dedicated days, like a strength day here, a cardio day there, maybe a mobility day. More targeted work.
Got it. That sets the stage nicely. So now let's connect the dots. Let's match those specific goals you shared with the training styles that actually work for them. First up, goal 1, improve cardiovascular health and endurance. This feels like the bedrock, right? Just overall function.
Absolutely. It's fundamental. The main tools here are what you'd expect: endurance training, general cardio, and also HIIT, high-intensity interval training. All of these strengthen your heart, improve circulation. Basically, they upgrade your body's whole oxygen delivery system.
And is there a target? Like, how much should you aim for?
Yeah, the general guideline is aiming for at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity cardio per week. Or, if you're going harder, 75 minutes of vigorous intensity.
Okay, moderate, vigorous. How do you know the difference without, a lab coat?
Yeah, good question. A really practical way is the talk test. It's low-tech but effective. If you're working hard enough that you can talk in short sentences, but you couldn't, say, comfortably hold a long conversation, that's probably moderate.
Makes sense.
And mixing things up is good, too. Some steady-state work like jogging or cycling, plus maybe some HIIT sessions. That keeps your body guessing and prevents plateaus.
All right. Goal 2, build muscle and strength. Now, this is where a lot of people focus, maybe sometimes too much, on just, bicep curls.
Right. We need to think bigger. The key methods are strength or resistance training, some power training elements, and functional training. And the why here is huge. Strength training doesn't just build muscle, it boosts bone density, super important as we age. And crucially, it ramps up your resting metabolic rate. More muscle means you burn more calories, even when you're just sitting around.
Okay, and the source material really emphasized something here. Progressive overload. What does that actually mean in practice? Is it just adding more weight?
It can be adding more weight, yes, but progressive overload is broader than that. It's the principle of continually challenging your body, strategically making things a bit harder over time. If you lift the exact same weight for the exact same reps week after week, your body just adapts and stops changing.
So you plateau.
Exactly. So progressive overload could mean adding 5 pounds, sure. Or it could mean doing one extra rep with the same weight. Or maybe even slowing down the lowering phase of the lift to increase time under tension. The point is, you have to give your body a reason to adapt. Make it slightly harder than last time.
And efficiency matters too, right? Like compound exercises.
No, absolutely. Focusing on compound exercises, things like squats, deadlifts, overhead presses, rows, is way more efficient. They hit multiple large muscle groups all at once, giving you more bang for your buck compared to isolating tiny muscles.
Makes sense. But there's another side to this coin. Recovery. You mentioned growth. Where does that actually happen?
This is so often overlooked. Muscles grow during rest, not during the workout itself. The workout is the signal, the stimulus. The growth happens afterwards. So you absolutely have to allow for adequate recovery. We're talking at least 48 hours between sessions that really hammer the same major muscle group.
48 hours, minimum.
Minimum. If you blast your chest on Monday, you need to give it until Wednesday, maybe even Thursday, to fully repair and actually get stronger before you hit it hard again.
Okay, so strength training boosts metabolism.
Yeah.
If the goal is goal 3, lose weight and burn fat, does that mean just lifting heavy is the answer? Or is it more complex?
It's definitely a combination. This goal needs a crucial mix. Relying only on, say, steady-state cardio primarily burns calories while you're doing it.
Right.
Relying only on strength training changes your body composition over time to burn more calories at rest.
But you need both.
You really need both for the best results. The winning combo is typically strength training, some form of cardiovascular training, and add again some HIIT.
Okay, HIIT again. High-intensity interval training. Tell us more about why that's so effective for fat loss. What about that afterburn effect people talk about?
Right. HIIT is powerful because it's so time efficient and it really jolts your system. You're doing these short, all-out bursts of effort, maybe 30 seconds of sprints or burpees followed by brief recovery. The afterburn effect, or EPOC excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, is real. It means your metabolism stays elevated for hours after you finish the workout. Your body is working hard to recover and return to its normal state, and that process burns extra calories long after you've stopped sweating. So we've covered the big engines, strength and cardio, but now we need to shift focus a bit. If you only focus on those outputs, you might build performance, sure, but you're potentially neglecting the foundations for safety, injury prevention, and just long-term wellness.
That makes sense. Let's talk about goal 4, increase flexibility and mobility. I think people use these terms interchangeably, but they're different, right? Why do they matter?
They are definitely related, but distinct. And yeah, people confuse them all the time. Flexibility is more about the passive length of your muscles. Think static stretching, like holding a hamstring stretch after your workout. Can you reach your toes? Mobility is more about the active range of motion and control you have around your joints. It's about how well you can move functionally. Think about doing a deep squat smoothly or rotating your shoulders without pain or restriction.
Oh, okay. Active versus passive.
Exactly. And why care? Well, improving both drastically reduces stiffness, helps prevent those annoying compensation injuries, and honestly, it makes all the other exercises we talked about safer and more effective. If your ankles lack mobility, for instance, your squat form is going to suffer no matter how strong your legs are.
Right. Moving on then, for people really focused on goal 5, enhance athletic performance. What does that kind of training look like? Is it just more strength?
Not just strength. Performance is about efficiency, speed, power, agility, how well you move, not just how much force you can produce. So yes, you need power training, things like plyometrics, jump squats, medicine ball throws, explosive movements, but you combine that with functional training that mimics sport-specific movements and also dedicated balance and stability work. It's about training the body to react, coordinate, and move efficiently under pressure.
Okay, and very related, but maybe with a different emphasis, goal 6, maintain independence and function, particularly thinking long-term as we age.
This is absolutely critical, and the focus here is really on preparing your body for everyday life demands. So lots of functional training exercises that mimic real-life stuff, like lifting groceries, pushing open a heavy door, twisting, getting up off the floor, and integrating specific balance and stability training is key. Even simple things, like trying to stand on one leg while you brush your teeth, that strengthens those small stabilizer muscles.
That's a great practical tip.
Yeah, it directly helps reduce the risk of falls later in life and just keeps you feeling capable and confident in your movements.
And finally, one that might seem a bit separate, but the source has really highlighted its importance. Goal 7, reduce stress and improve mental clarity.
Oh, it's far from separate. It's structurally essential, actually. This is where mind-body training comes in, things like yoga, Pilates, Tai Chi.
Why is stress management so key for physical goals?
Well, think about chronic stress. When you're constantly stressed out, your body produces more cortisol, the stress hormone. And consistently high cortisol levels actively work against your fitness goals. It can encourage fat storage, especially around the middle, and it can interfere with muscle growth and recovery.
Wow, okay.
So practices like yoga or Tai Chi, with their focus on breath work and mindful movement, help calm the nervous system. They shift you out of that fight or flight state, which allows your body to actually rest, digest, and repair properly. It's non-negotiable for holistic health.
Okay, so we have all these different training types for different goals. What does this actually look like in a typical week? Your sources mentioned the need for a balanced routine.
Yes, balance is crucial. You don't want to just do high-intensity stuff every single day.
Wow.
A smart weekly schedule alternates intensities and maybe even focus areas. For example, you might have a heavy strength day on Monday,
Bad.
then maybe a HII session on Tuesday. Wednesday could be lighter active recovery, mobility work, or maybe a yoga class.
Building in the later days.
Exactly. Then maybe another strength day, Thursday, perhaps focusing on different muscle groups. And Friday could be some moderate cardio or another skill focus. It's about hitting different systems, but also allowing for that crucial recovery.
Which brings up a key point, rest and recovery. You've mentioned it a few times. It sounds like it's not just an optional add-on.
Absolutely not. The sources treat it as non-negotiable, and rightly so. You have to think of recovery as part of your training plan.
So what does good recovery actually involve, beyond just taking a day off?
Sleep is number one. Aiming for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night is huge. That's prime time for muscle repair and growth hormone release.
Okay, sleep. What else?
Consistent hydration is critical for all bodily functions, including recovery. And then there's active recovery.
Active recovery, like moving on your rest day.
Yeah, exactly. Gentle movement, a light walk, some easy stretching, maybe a foam rolling session. It helps promote blood flow, which can flush out metabolic byproducts and potentially reduce soreness. It speeds up the repair process without adding more stress. Remember, gains happen during rest.
Okay, non-negotiable. Now, what about keeping things interesting and pushing past those inevitable plateaus? Let's talk progression and variation.
Right. To keep making progress, you have to keep challenging your body. That means consistently applying progressive overload we talked about, making things slightly harder.
Increasing the challenge.
Yep. Increase the weight, the reps, the intensity, reduce rest times, somehow up the ante. But variation is important too, both for physical adaptation and just keeping your brain engaged. Don't be afraid to swap exercises sometimes. If barbell squats feel stale, try goblet squats or lunges for a while. Maybe even switch your main training focus for a month. Do a block focused more on endurance or mobility. Keeps the body responsive.
And fitness isn't just that hour in the gym, right? What are the other 23 hours?
Such a good point. We need to integrate daily habits. Think about incidental exercise that adds up. Take the stairs, park a bit further away, walk during a phone call, and simple awareness of posture. Just sitting and standing tall, engaging your core slightly throughout the day. That supports the functional strength you're building in your workouts. It all connects.
Okay, so to make this sustainable long-term, you really need to approach it like a bit of an experiment on yourself, which means tracking progress. It's crucial for motivation, yes, but also for making smart adjustments along the way.
Right. Most people think tracking just means hopping on the scale or logging weights and reps. What else should you be paying attention to?
Those quantitative things are useful, sure, but we need to look beyond just the numbers. It's really important to track qualitative data, too. How are your energy levels? What's your mood like? How quickly are you recovering between workouts? Are you feeling less sore?
Okay, the subjective stuff. Exactly. And don't forget non-scale victories, NSVs. Maybe your clothes fit better. You can suddenly climb 5 flights of stairs without getting winded. You're sleeping more soundly. Your posture has improved.
Yeah. Those can be way more motivating sometimes than the number on the scale.
Absolutely. They often paint a much fuller, more encouraging picture of your actual progress.
Now, inevitably, people hit plateaus. It's normal, but super frustrating. The first instinct is often just to push harder, right? What's the smarter strategy when progress stalls?
Yeah, the just grind harder instinct is strong, but a plateau is basically a signal. Either your body has fully adapted to the current challenge, or you might actually be overdoing it. So the strategy is kind of two-pronged. First, yes, you can assess if you need to increase the challenge, apply that progressive overload again, maybe change the variation. But second, and this is often missed, you might need to double down on recovery. A prolonged plateau can absolutely be a sign of overtraining or under-recovering. Not enough sleep, too much stress. Your body might just be stuck. Sometimes pulling back slightly is the key to moving forward.
Interesting. More isn't always more.
Definitely not. Smarter is more.
And finally, life isn't linear. Things come up, work gets crazy, you travel, you get sick. We need adaptability, right?
Flexibility is key. Life happens. A perfect plan executed inconsistently is worse than a good enough plan executed consistently. If you have a crazy week and can't make it to the gym for your planned hour-long session, don't just throw in the towel for the whole week.
Right, do something.
Exactly. Scale it. Do a 20-minute HIIT workout at home using bodyweight exercises. Go for a brisk walk. Take the stairs all day at work. The goal is consistency over perfection. The best plan is truly the one you can stick with, even when life gets messy. Hashtag tag outro.
Wow, okay, we've really covered a lot, from heart health all the way to managing cortisol. But the core message seems crystal clear. Real sustainable fitness success isn't about finding one magic workout. It comes from building a holistic system where your specific goals, the training types you choose, how you structure your week, your nutrition, and crucially, your recovery. It all needs to work together. It needs alignment.
That's it, exactly. And the empowering thing is you now have the knowledge framework to move beyond just sort of mindlessly following the latest trend you see on Instagram. You can actually design a program that's meaningful for you, that fits your life, that respects your body's needs. That sense of control, that agency over your own health and potential, that's incredibly powerful.
It really is. So, since we know consistency is the absolute king for building routines that last a lifetime, here's a final provocative thought for you, the listener, to chew on. What's one small, non-workout daily habit you could implement starting today? Maybe it's a posture check every time your phone rings. Maybe it's hitting your water bottle goal. Or maybe it's just a simple 2-minute mobility routine right when you get out of bed. Find that one small thing, because making your fitness journey a true 24/7 commitment woven into the fabric of your day, that's how you amplify your results and make it truly stick.